All right, back here on SportsLine, Wayne, kind enough to wait through the break. Wayne, good evening. Welcome to SportsLine.
Yeah, thank you for taking the call. Steve, what I'm trying to say is, first of all, we have the second nation highest homeless population that we are not doing anything for. And we've got a lot of people being left behind. And we don't have anywhere for these people to go right now for housing. And here we are talking about billions of dollars for the uppity rich people. Nashville area Chamber of Commerce is not talking about putting a dime in. And as you recall, when the Titans came here, the governor at that time, Sunquist, did not want to put a dime in to bring them here. And he was embarrassed so much, he finally decided to put a few million in to get them here. And so that was embarrassing at that time because Mia Bredesen, the one, drawed them in here. And as you recall, the Titans did not officially want to sign up for Nashville. They really set the sights on Memphis first before they came here. But I'm just understanding how people are thinking now or just calling in. They're really talking out the other end of the rear end, because they're leaving so many people behind. For me, for instance, I'm being evicted because the landlord wants more money for rent than I can afford. And I've gotten so many days to get out of here. And here are these people that are calling in, talking about billions of dollars that they want to bring these people in here, but no way to pay for it. No way of idea of paying for it aside going up on the taxes, what the landlord says. That's the reason why he has to go up on this rent, to kick people out, because so many new people have come in town. We don't have nowhere to house these people right now. What are you talking about bringing a stadium in here, a stadium competing with Atlanta? We've always competed with Atlanta. You know, with the dome down in Atlanta, we've always competed with them. The traffic, the interstate, we've never made you catch up with them. I don't understand why you be thinking like that. To put people off to the side like that, nothing. I mean, something's wrong here.
Well, Wayne, I appreciate the call. And look, you bring up good points that need to be added to the conversation. Couple things. Nashville is not competing with Atlanta right now for major events, and that's what this conversation's about. Your point about some of the other issues in the community are very fair and need to be addressed. We need to deal with the homeless. I live downtown. I see the homeless problem in this city every day driving to and from work. Every single day. It is a massive problem, and we need to figure it out as a community. We need to figure out how to cap our rents that are soaring. There are things that need to be adjusted. There's no question about it. I don't know if there's a direct link to the funds within the city and the organizations that will need to be adjusted to answer those questions and problems and trying to upgrade the stadium. An upgrade to the stadium is going to happen because, as I mentioned earlier, the growth of Nashville is directly tied to the Titans and directly tied to the Predators. Those teams are going to be made to stay happy, because the worst thing that can happen is you lose one of those teams. So something's going to happen to the stadium in the not too distant future. The point, I think, of this conversation is they've got to come together and have this in-depth conversation about how you do it the best to satisfy the most needs. And yes, that's going to be satisfy the Titans' needs, to give them the best stadium possible. But then it does all the other things as well that we talked about earlier in the program. And hopefully some of that revenue that comes back in, some of those jobs, hopefully some of those jobs are a little bit higher paying for certain people, which allows them maybe to not have to deal with the same rent issues and all of that. Now, that isn't a panacea. It doesn't handle everything. Your concerns are very valid, and it will take work on that front. But the question is, can you do both at one time? I'd like to think it can happen. It's possible it can't. And if it can't, then we have a decision to make. We had another caller who called in off air who wanted to complain about the conversation and basically said that if this happens, there's no question the property taxes will be raised significantly. Well, if this happens, there will ultimately be a proposal of how it's going to happen. How much will the Titans put in? Say it's $4 billion, as I think an earlier caller said, to put this stadium up. How much of that comes from the Titans? How much needs to come from the city? Can it come from bonds and other things that come within the city's budget already? Or does it have to include a property tax increase? Whatever that breakdown is, informs the decision of the city and informs the decision of you, the taxpayer, of how this works. And if you don't like it, let the people you vote for know. Potentially vote them in or out, depending on how well you like it. But ultimately, this is an initial discussion, and one I think should have happened a long time ago, about how to do the best for the city in a progressive idea looking forward, but in a manner that helps every one of the citizens at once. And that includes Wayne, the last caller, and his concerns about leaving people behind. Those are real concerns right now. How's the best way you can go about that as a city? And that's the conversation that I think we can have here tonight, we can have moving forward. But most importantly, it's the conversation that your elected officials, the Titans, the CVC, the Sports Commission, all of those people need to have. And oh, by the way, those businesses that we had a caller earlier talk about, the healthcare corporations, the Bridgestones, the Nissans, the major companies, Fortune 500 and elsewhere, all the music executives, it benefits them too. They should be in on the conversation to try to come up with the best possible answer for this city that we all love so much to help us get to the next level as a city and for all of our citizens at the same time. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More SportsLine after this.